and start recording. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to, I think, Jessica was going to do the welcome and agenda, right?
Yes, good evening, everybody. My name is Jessica Sprain. I am one of two 4-H agents in Osceola County, and it's great to see you all tonight. Tonight, we're going to go over just a couple of topics. The most important one, in my opinion, at this point is an introduction to Microsoft Teams. So Melinda will go through and show you how to use it and a couple of the features. Then we're going to talk about guiding youth project choice, and this will be discussed by Karen. And then I'll go through and we'll go through enrolling youth in 4-H Online 2.0. And then we'll talk about our 2020-2021 workshop series. And then we've got a quick survey at the end. And just to kind of go through and introduce us all, what I'll probably do right in this point is I will hand it over to Karen to introduce herself. And then we'll move to Melinda. And then if Miss Laura Cash would like to, and then I can introduce the other agents who are not able to join us tonight.
Good evening. Thank you everybody for being here tonight. My name is Karen Henry and I am one of the 4-H agents in Seminole County.
I'm Laura Cash. I'm the Volusia County 4-H Extension Agent.
And I'm sorry, I left myself muted and I didn't see that I did. I'm Melinda Souers from Orange County. And normally there are two agents, but currently I am the only one.
So on our team, we also have Dallas, who is in Lake County. We have Laura Valencia, who is in Osceola County. We have Chelsea, who is in Seminole County. And then as Melinda had mentioned, there is a current vacancy in Orange County. And I will hand it over to Karen to do our activity.
So as we are getting ready to start the new 4-H year, we are interested with how you all are feeling tonight and feeling about that. So on the screen, you see 3 pictures labeled A, B, and C, and we are going to pull up a poll in just a moment. And if you all will take a look at the pictures and let us know which one you feel matches how you're feeling tonight best.
All right, and I'm going to launch the poll. There's a few other questions for you to answer after as well, but then Karen will go back and kind of reflect with you about these pictures after we've completed the poll. All right, you should be seeing your poll that has 4 questions. And I am sorry, my question says, how do you feel about the new 4-H year? But you can answer Karen's question, how do you feel tonight, A, B, or C? I'm getting pretty close here. Almost everyone has voted. Well, it says 13 out of 14, so maybe someone is having difficulty getting their vote in. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the polling and show the results. And you can move you should be able to move it around on your screen, and you all should see the results right now. And Karen, I'll hand it over to you to talk about your climber cards, your images there.
So as we were planning for the training tonight and just the 4-H year in general, I don't know about you all, but I know I have had a lot of mixed feelings just with where we are. And so the 3 images on the screen were picked at random. And I see that we are pretty much split in terms of how we are feeling about the new 4-H year. So is there anybody that would like to share, either by unmuting themselves or by putting it in the chat box, which one you chose and why?
I chose C. Hi, everyone. This is Sarah Huffler. And I did choose C because I feel that, despite the difficulties that everyone has had with coronavirus, that 4-H in particular has done a good job with moving forward in a positive way. And I say that for a variety of reasons. First of all, the summer camps that were offered, both of my daughters took, I believe, almost every one of them. And had a great time. I was surprised at how well that went off because of the, it had to happen basically overnight, and it went very well. Also, too, the communication has been flawless coming out from Brett and Melinda in Orange County. Thank you very much to you both. And that has made things on our end as a club easier to, disseminate and follow through on. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing. And there are a couple of others who agree with you in terms of the sunshine. One, because we are ready to get this new 4-H year started, and sunshine makes us happy. We also have someone who chose the octopus because trying to balance everything going on in life, and I think a lot of us can empathize with that and are feeling that right now. And the wheels turning because it represents learning, and we are ready to learn and pass that knowledge along to our youth. And isn't that so true of 4-H? We are learning every day, and we have the privilege of being able to work with young people and impart some of that knowledge.
All right. So looking down here at the other answers, how many years have you been a volunteer? So it looks like we have quite a few people in the first few years, maybe about half of you, about, in 0 to 4, definitely some that are just joining the 4-H program, and thank you for doing that. Some kind of middle volunteer career, and a few that are veterans that, have been down this path before with change, and definitely seen a lot of change in 4-H and had to adapt, and we're still doing that right now. All right, and what kind of project do you lead or support? And here you could answer multiple answers if you wanted to. And it looks like we've got really a lot of different things represented tonight. We've got general, definitely livestock, forest pets, no cooking or food prep, but sewing, crafts, leadership, shooting sports. So we've got a wide variety of backgrounds here, project areas. And then it looks like about 70% of you have never used Teams. And a few of you maybe have dabbled in it a little bit and feel perhaps slightly or somewhat comfortable. So hopefully by the time we're done tonight, you're going to be ready to at least be able to set up a meeting if you choose to in Teams and feel comfortable doing that. All right, thank you very much for indulging us in that activity. And I will go ahead and move us on here. All right, I am going to close out the chat because I have got too many things open on my screen to be able to see my my slides and be able to talk and share with you all. But Microsoft Teams, as we've shared with you, is the platform that UF has kind of blessed to be used for our club meetings. And as volunteers, our licensing allows us to give you access to Teams. And you have been added as guest users. Well, I don't know if you've all been added in your counties as guest users, but you will be. You just need to talk to your agent about them adding you so that you can go ahead and start using it the way I'm going to share with you tonight. And as a guest user, you can host meetings and you can invite people to the meetings through an email link. It is similar to Zoom, but it doesn't require your 4-H agent to co-host with you if we're using, UF Zoom. So you'll see that it has some similar attributes to Zoom, but Teams is part of a much bigger platform with file sharing and communications. It's a much larger platform than Zoom is. What I'm going to show you how to do tonight is I'm going to show you how to access the Teams app, how to download it if you haven't, the link to that, how to schedule a meeting in Microsoft Teams, how to host a meeting in Teams, and then a few other useful features that you might want to take advantage of later on as you get more comfortable with it. So that's my plan. And I need to be mindful of the time here so that I give my teammates their chance to teach tonight too. All right, just to start off with, this is the website for downloading the Teams app. Honestly, you can just, type in Microsoft.com, download Teams app, and you'll be able to get this URL, and pretty much any search engine will bring this to you. But this is the screen that you would see where it asks you if you want to download for desktop or download for mobile. But you will need to do that before you can join a Teams meeting, or certainly, obviously, before you can access your team and your channel. It doesn't take long. They make it really easy. You do, I will mention though, that you do have to have a Microsoft linked account. It's similar to if you're using Google Suite, or when we did Google Sites over summer, you have to have a Google account. Well, Microsoft also wants you to have a Microsoft account. You don't have to have an Outlook email address. You can link it to whatever email you use now, but it will ask you to set that up whenever you do this. So just be mindful of that. And it actually is better if you use the email that you already gave us, because that's the one that we used in Orange County anyway to add you to your club channel. And if some of these words, teams, channels, and all that seems unfamiliar, don't worry. We're gonna visit those, and you're gonna see what I'm referring to. So you don't have to do this now, but you will before you'll be able to play with this on your own. All right. So when we are in Teams, when I open Teams, you're seeing right now what I would see on my screen. I can't scroll here because this isn't live. This is a screenshot. But when I open Teams, and you can see this here is clicked, I see all the teams that I have. And I have a bunch because there's a bunch at UF that I'm in. But in our county, I have Orange County 4-H clubs. And that is the team that you are going to see. When you're in Teams, you will see that you have been invited to be a guest of Orange County 4-H clubs if you're in my county. In your county, it's going to look a little bit different, and your agent can show you that. But this is what it would look like, and it would be on your list. When we would click this, sorry, I'm going to just get all of these images out of my way because I'm sorry, I couldn't see the bottom here where I've got my text down here to you that tells you that this will display all the teams for which you are a guest, a member, or an owner. Members and owners have to be part of the organization, but guests can be anyone. And right to start off with, you all will be guests. So if I were to click this, I circled it so you know, simply I would just click this, and then this is going to take me into that team. It's going to open that team. And now it looks like this. So this would be the screen that I would see. Now for me, this shows me that I'm in that this team is open, and it's got a whole bunch of posts here because this is stuff that the folks at UF were adding me to teams and adding channels, but you wouldn't necessarily have all of these posts in here. And I have all the clubs listed. There's general, and then I have all the clubs listed. So some of you may, if you're early in the alphabet in Orange County, you would see your club here, but we're going to use 4-H Cloverbots as my, the one I'm working with tonight. they have not reactivated this year, so I've been playing in their club channel. But a team is Orange County 4-H clubs. These are channels. So every club has its own channel, and that's kind of like a separate private conversation place where the people that are just in that channel have access to it. So you have to be invited. You see there's a little lock there. And so in our county, we are adding the club leaders to these channels so they would have access. So if I were to go to, if I wanted to enter my club channel, I would click on 4-H Cloverbots because that's the one that I want to open. And then this is what I would see. I would see a series of posts that are conversations I have been in. You can see that I've been playing around with this. I would invite my daughter on her. I would add her as a guest. I wanted to see what other people saw. So all of us, that's what we've been doing, trying to see what you would see or what your guests would see, so that we would make sure that we could prepare this for you. So you would just see a series of messages here, posts, conversations and chats between other people that were in your channel. So that's how you get in your channel. So now what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to schedule a meeting. So pre-scheduling a meeting where you can set it up and send out an invitation in advance requires you to have member level permission. Member level permission will come when your GatorLink account is activated. We're not sure about the timing of that yet. However, as a guest, you can still create meetings and you can still invite people to meetings. You just can't schedule them ahead of time and pre-send out invitations. So that is a little bit of a limitation, but I'm going to show you how easy that is tonight. We're just going to really focus on those guest level permissions. And what you would do is you would establish your meeting schedule in advance so that everyone in your club knows when you meet. So it's not going to be a surprise. They're going to be expecting to get that invitation in the mail. You would start the meeting early. You would maybe go in 15 minutes ahead of time, start the meeting the way that I'm going to show you. And then it gives you the option to copy a link. And then you simply copy that link, pop over to your email, put it in the message line, shoot the email out to everyone in your 4-H club, and then they'll have the invitation and they can join your meeting at the appointed time. So let's walk through that process. All right, so I've already shown you how to do this part. You open the Teams application, you open your team. That was my Orange County one with the colorful kind of like little dialogue bubbles there. I clicked on the channel for my club, which for tonight is 4-H Cloverbots. And then I'm going to show you where we're going to see an icon that says Meet and how to join now. So I'm going to click to those. I've got some screenshots here to show you. So going back to this screenshot where I'm in Cloverbots, same conversation, but now I want to draw your attention to this Meet button right here. When I click that Meet button, that's going to instantly start a meeting. It's just going to be me in the meeting until I invite people, but that's going to instantly start a meeting. When I click it, it's going to take me here. Now it shows that I'm in the meeting. Up here, it would just call it my personal meeting or something. But then I typed in there, type a name for your meeting here. So you just go in there and you just type, create the name for your meeting, and that's what your guests are going to see. 4-H Cloverbots October meeting, and that's what we would call it. And then you see down here this big purple Join Now button. You would click the Join Now button, and the meeting would start. So let me go back to that just so you see, because I'm going to go kind of back and forth between my screenshots and my instructions. So far we've opened Teams. We saw our list of clubs, which are channels. We clicked on the one that's ours. And then we clicked the Meet icon. And now we're going to click Join Now. And that's going to take us into our meeting. Once the meeting has started, I'm going to show you how you're going to get the copy join info that you can paste into an email to send it to families. So this is what it's going to look like now that the meeting has started, and I want to invite people to the meeting. So I go over here, the 3 dots that were over here. So I'm going to click on those 3 dots, and that opens up this list of things. And you see this little link thing right here? You click on that next to meeting details, and it immediately copies to your clipboard the invitation, and that you'll be able to just go right over to your email, hit paste or Control V, and pop it in there, okay? So click the, whenever you all know, probably know now, especially with mobile apps, the 3 dots are always like your link to more things, more choices, more information. So you're gonna click on those, you're gonna get this link, you click on that. I'm gonna show you how to do this live, but right now, obviously, this is just a screenshot. Now I popped back over to an email. This is whatever email you're going to use. When I hit Control V, you know, is your shortcut to paste things. I just hit Control V and it put this link in here. Sometimes if it's in, it depends on the platform you're using, but it'll actually be a fancier looking join this meeting button. But either way, it's there. You know, maybe have your club members already in a group in your email. So you just hit 2, you put them in there and hit send, and then they will get that invitation. So once you're in there, you start the meeting, you click on the little links, it immediately copies that to your clipboard, you pop over to your email, you paste it in there, send the email, and then everybody has what they need to join your meeting. Okay, so now people can start showing up in your waiting room, and then you're going to admit them. During the meetings, you can use icons across the top to view your participants, control your microphone and video, share content, and monitor chat messages. So let's take a look at that. So I'm in my meeting. I've already copied my link, you know, to the meeting, and I sent that to people. And now I see that someone's in my lobby. It's not a waiting room like Zoom. It's called a lobby. And she is waiting to come into my meeting. You always want to make sure that you have another adult in there before you start. So you'll just have to wait until you see in your lobby that one of your co-leaders or a parent is ready to join the meeting. You let them in, and then once they're in with you, then you can start letting the kids in. And you'll just go over here, you'll hit check, click that, and then they will go from here, and then they will be up in your participants, okay? This down here, suggestions, are just these are other people that have been added to the channel. This is me outside of the organization and my daughter. So that just suggesting to people, so people that you might want to invite to your meeting. All right. And if you want to see the list of participants, I'm sorry, I want to point out some of these things to you. This little thing that looks like 2 people, if you click on that, that shows you who's in the meeting. The thing you'll want to do is just play around with it, you know, and click on things so that you can see, you know, what happens when you do these different things. But this is what it looks like when you're the person you invited is actually in the meeting. Is now she's in this meeting and I'm in this meeting, and you know she doesn't have an image up, so you just see this that shows you that she's there. All right. So I must have put this one out of order. This is probably why I couldn't find this stuff earlier. But this is another place that you can get the information to, the join information. Anytime you see these little links and you click it, that gives you your link that you can paste. So you can also do it this way, or you can do it with the 3 dots like I did at the beginning. If you want to open up the chat, which I highly suggest that you do, you would click on the chat icon, and then that would open this up for you so you could see. And I typed down in here, those without microphones can use the chat to respond. Sometimes those that are shy, they may be more comfortable doing that. Maybe if they don't have a working microphone, or you just feel like your meetings would be a little bit more orderly if, if you did it this way, using the chat. But the chat is a very popular place for kids, and typically it's good to have someone monitoring the chat. To make sure that the kids are on task or on target or paying attention, because sometimes they'll go off on tangents with each other in the chat, but also to answer questions that might come up. All right, raising hands. That is another icon here that's handy. And this way you can, let the host know that you have a question, or someone can let the host know that you have a question. So far we've covered participants, chat, and then this is raise your hand, or now it says lower your hand because I raised my hand. So you could see what that would look like, but then you can lower your hand after. And then this, of course, is the 3 dots that we talked about earlier. When I click on the 3 dots, I have the same list that I showed you earlier. Meeting details, when I clicked on that, that's where I got my little link. But also, if you want to use a virtual background in Teams, this is where you can apply those effects. So you can click on here. I think my next shot shows, yes. And these are the built-in ones in Teams. You can blur your background, which is actually a pretty popular one, to not actually have something that's not where you really are, but just to blur the background so it's not distracting for the people that are in your meeting. You can add new ones. If you have something fun you want to put in your background, you can click this and download it, or you can pick one of the other ones here. So if you want to share your screen, which comes in very handy, like I'm doing right now, so you want to have your agenda for your meeting, maybe there's a PowerPoint for a presentation. This is the share icon, and it looks very similar to the one in Zoom. It's a different color, but still that kind of that arrow in a little screen. And you click on that, and then it's going to give you options of what's on your desktop that you would like to share. And then when you're done, you would just click stop sharing, and it would, or end share, I can't remember if it's stop sharing or end share, but it's obvious. And then that would go back to your gallery where you could see all of the participants that are in the meeting. And then finally, this button over here is leave. It looks like you're hanging up a phone. And leave or end. This is important because when you start a Teams meeting, if you leave it, everyone else will still be there, even if you're the one that started it. So you want to make sure you end the meeting if you're the adult that's in charge, and make sure that you either end it or you wait until all the kids have left before you leave it, because we don't want to leave youth there without 2 adults, still in the meeting place when our meeting is over. And I have found that I think just that the kids love the connection. A lot of them will just kind of stay on and stay on and stay on until the end. Particularly at camps, they were doing that a lot. So leave and end. And then if you hit end, it's going to say, are you sure you want to do that? Because you're going to end the meeting for everyone. But if that's indeed what you want to do, you would click end and the meeting would be over. Like I said, I'm going to walk you through this live in a minute here, but I just wanted to share a couple of other features in Teams that are kind of, helpful later on, that you might decide that this would be something you'd like to do. Teams is really designed for collaboration within organizations, sharing work, sharing documents, communicating back and forth. You can pop on a phone call, it'll show if someone's available. But you saw how each channel has posts and files where you can have conversations, but also upload things. So if you wanted to share a document with your co-leader, you could easily do that. Or if you wanted to share something with me, you could put it there and I would have access to it, or Brett. You could just upload it to your files in Teams and we would have access. And by the same token, we could do the same thing to share with you. And I'm sorry, I'm referring to Brett. In your county, it would be, you know, whoever your agent is or your admin, whoever it is that you are trying to receive or share documents from. When leaders are eventually given member permissions, you will have a calendar that becomes available suddenly, and that would allow you to pre-schedule meetings. So you'll see, I have this calendar when I'm here in my Teams. You will not have that as a guest, but as a member, you would have that. And when you would click on that calendar, well, first of all, this is just an example of how you can make announcements in Teams. You know, if you had everybody in there, that may or may not be helpful to you if your 4-Hers are not in there, but when you have more people in the organization in there, it is helpful. Here is a document. I put the in-person activity request form in here, so I can easily share that with people if they need something. It's an easy way of putting it in place. And the nice thing about this is it stays there. If I send you an email with an attachment, then you have to remember where that was. You have to remember to download it and save it somewhere. If it's in Teams, you just know it's in Teams. I go back, oh yeah, that form I need is in Teams. So there's the calendar. So if I was to click the calendar, then this is what would pop up. But remember, once you're a member, if you become a member and your Data Link account is linked, then you would have access to this calendar where you could give the meeting a name, who you're going to invite, when it's going to be, some details about it. And then you would just send that out to everybody and they would have it ahead of time. They could RSVP and say they're going to come. All right, so before we get to questions, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing this. And hopefully you all are not feeling really overwhelmed. I am going to go ahead and go to my Teams and take you through a demonstration here. And I see one question here, do independents have a channel? They can have a channel. I have, I think we do in Orange County. I think that's added there, but I don't know if every, you know, it's just going to kind of be how your county handles it. All right, so I'm going to go back. And now this is my team live. Now I'm going to ask my co-host to tell me if my, hopefully that's not a problem. My co-host will tell me if my share follows as I link and I go through here. So Teams is what I'm looking at. These are all my teams. I've got a bunch of teams. But Orange County 4-H Clubs, remember, is the one I want to go to. And this is the one that you would go to as well. And you wouldn't have all these other ones on here. You would only have the ones that you're a member of. So I would click on this. And now, can someone tell me, did it take me into the screen? Can you see the screen where all my channels are listed?
You're good, Melinda.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. So now, remember I showed you this. We're in the team, and now these are all our clubs in, there's independents in Orange County. All the clubs, they each have their own channel in Orange County. When you would go into your counties, you would see I don't know if you'll see all the clubs. You may only see the one that you're part of, but that's okay. It would be there for you. So I'm going to click on Cloverbox, like I said, because we're pretending that I'm setting up a meeting in Cloverbox. And now when I clicked on Cloverbox, I see the conversations that were here. And you see I had all these meetings. I started and ended because I was playing around with it. But these are posts. So if I wanted to type a message in here, my Zoom controls are blocking my, if I wanted to type, I could click on new conversation, and then it would give me the option of typing a message to someone in my channel if I wanted to do that. So I could do that. But what I really want to show you is that I'm going to start a meeting. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to click Meet. Remember, this was the key button. Once we get into our channel, I want to click Meet. And that's not good. I do not understand why it's telling me. Well, hopefully that's good. Okay, so now it's going to work for me. So now you see what all I did is click Meet, and now it's opened the screen. It says New Channel Meeting, but I'm going to call this. Oops, 5H. What's that? 4H Club Meeting, and I'm going to click Join Now. Very simple. I just gave it a name. Join Now.
And Melinda, we're seeing a bit of a delay. We're seeing that you've clicked Meet, but nothing has come up on our screen yet. It just started.
Okay. Did it go to the next screen?
We now see that a meeting is in process.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, what I'm seeing right now is at the top it says 4-H Club Meeting, and then my picture, and it says invite people to join you. I don't know if you've caught up to that point. I didn't think about that lag time there. But all I did was I gave my meeting a name, and then I clicked Join Now. And then it takes me to this time now where I can invite people to my meeting. So hopefully you all are following along with that.
Melinda, maybe if you are able just to see if you can select a different screen share since it was a new window, maybe
Gotcha.
that'll help.
Okay, thank you. So I will just stop sharing. And I'm going to go ahead and do a new share here, and hopefully you'll see what I was seeing. Okay, so do you all see my meeting now?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So now it's telling me invite people to join you. So in order to invite people, I have to send them a link. So if I go to the 3 dots, remember those 3 dots are your friend here. I'm going to click on the 3 dots and suddenly I get more choices. And it's not cooperating with me. So now why does this happen when I'm live with people? It's not giving me my meeting details. All right, so let's do this a different way. I have no idea why it's not cooperating with me right now and not giving me my link. Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna stop sharing because I think something went weird and I think there's 2 things open when I changed out here, and I want to get rid of leave this meeting. So that is not supposed to happen when I'm live trying to show you guys what to do, and it isn't giving me all of my choices. So I'm gonna go back in. I'm not gonna share until I get back to where I need to be. So I don't have to, I'm just trying to get back where I was to show you. And then I'll share it. And hopefully it's not because I'm in a Zoom and I can't be in a Teams and my computer won't let me do that at the same time. I haven't tried that before, so I don't know if maybe that might be a problem, because see, it's not even giving me a suggested list of people to join. Okay. close again. All right, so I'm going to show you back where I am. And for some reason, and like I said, I don't know if it's because, like I said, I've never tried to do a Zoom and a Teams meeting simultaneously, and it's not giving me. Normally what I would see here is I would see a little link. Can you guys see the screen where my meeting is? I would see the links right here, or when I click the 3 dots, you see where it says meeting details? It would give me that. But right now, it's not showing that to me, and I think it's because I have too many things open at one time. But this is where you saw the screenshot where it's got those little interlocking links, and you would click on those, and then it says copied to clipboard. And that's simply what you would do. And I wish that I could show that to you live, but it doesn't seem to want to let me do that right now. But if you go down here and you can see like apply background effects, this is where you could choose to do different things to your background and that kind of thing. This is raising your hand. This would be opening up the chat. So these are all options you have, but the participant list shows you who's in your meeting. Over here, this would be to turn your camera on. Okay, video isn't working. Yeah, I think it's just because right now my laptop is saying, 1 meeting at a time, please. And so it's not going to let me do any of these other things. But here's the microphone, the video, screen share. And I don't think I can share within a share. That might just totally crash my computer. But then here's leave. So I can either leave or end. And if I'm the club leader, I'm going to end. And I'm going to tell myself I'm going to end for everyone. Okay. And then, so now my meeting has ended. And I want to make sure. Okay. So now are we all seeing the gallery again? Is that everybody seeing each other's pictures? Jessica says, I believe it's because we're on Zoom right now. When I try, I have the same problem. Yes. So unfortunately, it's not the perfect solution because I couldn't show you everything that it can do. But we will share this PowerPoint with you with all the screenshots. So you can literally just go click this, click this, click this, play with it, invite your kid to your meeting like I do, have them join your meeting from their bedroom so you can make sure that it works. That's my testimony. Hey guys, I need your help. I need you to do this for me. And you should be able to get through it. So I hope that wasn't too many steps to try to cover all in one sitting. But I'm going to go ahead, and I've already gone past my time here. So hopefully, I don't know, Karen and Jessica, did you address questions that were in the chat? All right, I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, we will share this PowerPoint with everybody. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself, and I believe that we are going back to Karen, right? I think Karen is next. So I will go back to the PowerPoint.
Thank you, Melinda. And if you all think of other questions that you have about Teams throughout the process, please feel free to put them in the chat or ask them at the end, and we would be happy to answer them. So we have prepared our Teams platform to meet with our 4-H clubs, and one of the questions that we get, especially from new youth and new families that join 4-H, so if you have new members this year, is really understanding what the 4-H project is. So I only have a couple of slides, and they're more reminders to start the new 4-H year, but the project is simply a series of learning experiences within an area of interest, and it is to promote mastery as well as develop life skills. So in addition to learning how to care for a citrus tree or an animal or how to sew a garment, we also want to be teaching youth communication, in citizenship, leadership, decision-making, and goal setting. And so youth have completed a 4-H project when they have met their goals and they have completed their 4-H project report forms. Next slide, please. So oftentimes when there are youth who are trying to decide what to do, we get a lot of questions, how do I choose a 4-H project? And really we want to start with what is the youth interested in? What subjects appeal to them? Something else to consider is the resources. Obviously, depending on the project, there are different levels of resources that are required. So a youth may not necessarily be able to board a horse at a barn, but they could still learn about horses and be involved in like a horseless horse project. And then the other thing to have a conversation with parents about is really the youth's ability. So depending on their age and their stage, that is something else to keep in mind. So I am going to turn it over to Jessica, and she is going to review a little bit about 4-H Online 2.0.
Hello, everyone. I'm just working on getting my screen shared with you all. So one thing I do want to let you all know is even though we have used Zoom for many, many months now and done a lot of trainings, education, things like that with the program, I have a very messy, there we go. We do have challenges when we deal with technology. So I just want you to all know that even no matter how much we've worked with the program, we still have challenges. Okay, so let me switch you guys out here. Make sure that you guys can actually see the full presentation now. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm just going to go through a little bit about enrolling in 4-H Online. Many of you have already done this and helped your members do this. As a volunteer, you guys have a couple more steps in the process where our youth have a few less, but we're just going to cover a couple basics tonight. So as you all have heard or should have heard, we do have a new and improved 4-H Online. So that is 4-H Online 2.0. And this link should have been shared with you through your county agents. If not, we'll make sure that this gets shared with you after tonight. But there is a new login page. If you do have a member who goes to our original 4-H Online 1.0, it will tell them and direct them to this specific location for this year, for version 2 of our 4-H Online. So one really great thing about 4-H Online 2.0 is it does work from multiple browsers, and it also works on mobile devices. So this is something that really helps our members enroll and our families enroll because they can do it on multiple different platforms, and they can use multiple different devices to get there. I know our previous version of 4-H Online, I'd have it on my phone and have to zoom in really, really far to get to what I was looking at. But now it is mobile friendly, which helps all of our members enroll, or it's a lot easier for them too. One other thing too that's great about this program is it now is ADA compliant, and it has features if members need it. So it is located in the bottom left of the screen. So just direct members there if that is a need that they do have. So many of your members probably already have family accounts, but if they do need to create a new one, they'll go to the version 2 of 4-H Online, the website, and they'll actually go in and create an account. So if you've never enrolled before, what you'll do is you'll set up your family profile and then set up the club members within your family profile. Now, keep in mind, parents and guardians are responsible for creating and maintaining the family and member profiles. You should not be given passwords to access this. And the reason for that is because there are a lot of locations in which the parent actually needs to sign off participation for our youth. So please share that with your families as they log into their 4-H online account for this year. So if they are creating a new account, they will be asked to select their state. Of course, this is Florida, and then they will select the institution, which is Florida 4-H Youth Development. Then they'll go through and select their county. They'll complete their family email and along with other information. One thing to let them know is have them use the email that they use the most frequently. We do have a lot of families who call because they don't remember their family email because they've used some other email and they don't necessarily want to clog the email that they use frequently. However, this is where most of the communication will come from. And this is something that you're gonna want your families to remember. Then they'll go in and enter their family name, mobile phone number. Make sure this is a current mobile phone number because if they do forget their password, this is one of the steps to verify that password. And then they'll go ahead and enter their password. There are some requirements for the password this time. I know on our previous version, it could be any password. But there are some requirements such as a capital letter, special character, things like that. And then they'll create that account. Then they'll go through and enter that address and just make sure that this is the USPS format. This will be very important. And then as soon as they do it, they can verify or confirm when it does pop up. So in order to add a member, what you'll do is if there's no members in the family profile, you'll be presented with an add a member screen. And then you can choose the 4-H program. And the reason that there are, well, there's only one option, but this could be a program that's used for our Master Gardeners in the future. So that's why they do ask you the question, which program would you like to join? Then you're gonna add a youth member. You're gonna go through, have them enter all of their information. Any of the required fields, they will be required to enter. And then they'll want to join as a new or returning 4-H member and select finish. So one thing we will let you know is the system itself will calculate that 4-H age. So that's something that our families don't need to do as they register. Especially with a newer family, it's hard to kind of communicate what a 4-H age is. So this is a nice feature within this program. And just to clarify, our 4-H age divisions, so we've got our youth that are 5 to 7, and of course this is as of September 1st of 2020. So that's what provides the 4-H age. Ages 5 to 7 will be our Clover Buds, our juniors will be 8 to 10, intermediates 11 to 13, and our seniors 14 to 18. So if you guys have any questions about those age divisions, please feel free to reach out to your agent. I know we even go through it in our heads every once in a while just to make sure we've got it right. So if you're re-enrolling a youth, which most families will, what they'll do is they'll log into their profile and they'll get to a screen that looks very similar to this. So they have their family information will actually be listed at top or up top. Then they've got their member list. And if these members have been enrolled before, the nice thing is they can just click on that Enroll Now button and it'll pull up the next step for them for this year. So what they'll do is they'll complete all sections of the enrollment. They'll select their club or add a club. If, as you guys are obviously a volunteer, you'll kind of look into the volunteer type, things like that. But they'll be able to select their clubs. Then they'll go into their projects. So this is what Karen had talked about, have them go through and select their projects. And each county uses this project screen a little bit differently. So make sure that our youth are selecting the projects that they do want to be participating in this year. As they add them, then they're going to add their project. And they can add multiple projects. Then we're going to go into the question section. And this will tell you they're going to want to click on that show questions button. And they're going to go through and complete all of the fields. And they're going to hit next when they're done. There will be some enrollment questions, specifically the health form. This is a requirement to have it filled out. So they're going to select show health form and they're going to complete all of the medical consents. So they will have to consent to the medical consent, which is required to participate in Florida 4-H. So just that they're aware of that. Also, if anyone does select, like, for example, does the participant have any non-food allergies? If they select yes, there will be a pop-up box for a description. And you'll notice that the health form is much shorter than it has been in the past. The next step will be consents. So they'll click the show consents button and read each consent and respond to each item. There are quite a few on here, and many of you as volunteers have noticed you have a couple more than your youth do. And that's just all of our consents. So this would be the code of conduct, general release, transportation. Those are required to consent to, and then we've got the survey and evaluation release, and then you all have the additional ones. So this is in a very important part that the parent, again, is the only one that has access to the 4-H online account because they will be the one who is signing their name to these consents. So the nice thing about 4-H Online 2.0, which many of you have already experienced, is that our members can actually pay right on 4-H Online. So this helps all of you, and it also helps us be able to go in and approve members much faster. So as it has been in previous years, there is the $20 membership fee for community club members, and this is ages 8 through 18. Now some counties may charge a slightly higher fee depending on what they originally had prior to us charging membership fees for the state. And also a note, some counties do have different steps for Clover Buds, so they'll enroll in 4-H Online the same. They will not be asked to pay through 4-H Online, but there may be another avenue that a Clover Bud may have to pay through, specifically Osceola County. So after they go through, they'll submit the payment. The member will hit submit. This will then be sent to the 4-H office, and what we will go through and confirm all of our enrollments. The nice thing is because we do have payment information right away with that profile, it's a lot easier to go through and approve. One thing you will see then on the family profile is you've got the member's name. You can go in and view the profile, and then where you saw kind of the enroll now, then it'll say what they're, so in this case, Eddie Four Leafs is awaiting review. Once the member is approved, it will then state approved. And then for emails, you'll receive an email confirming your enrollment was submitted, and then you'll receive another email when the enrollment has made active by the county 4-H office. So this is when the profile is approved. Also then, if you paid the membership fee online through 4-H Online, then you'll also receive a payment confirmation once the enrollment is made active. So that is a note to share with you all, is that the charge for enrollment will not go through until the county office makes the profile active. So that's why families may not receive that kind of payment confirmation until the member is made active. And if there are any issues with enrollment, please contact your county 4-H office, and we will go through and help you correct the issue. The other thing is, if you guys do need to add a member, there is a nice big blue add a member button up on the top right of the screen as you're in your member list in your family profile, and you'll go through kind of the same process. The other thing is, over on the left-hand side, you'll have member list, and below it, you'll have family. That's where your families will go, or you guys will go if you need to update any family profile information. Events will be for any events or activities that are offering either through the county or through the state office. So specifically, I think right now we've got an October leaders training or volunteer training that's being hosted by the state, and you can find that event in there. Now, the person, the member, the volunteer has to be active in order to register for events. So keep that in mind and make sure that your members are enrolled sooner than later. And then you can also, as I mentioned earlier, select the view button, which is right next to the member's name, to actually view that member's profile. So the other thing too is, as soon as you're in the member's profile, there are quite a few different opportunities. There's not a lot that you'll really have to deal with, specifically just the event section, but you can go through and see any of the information that you entered, so anything about you, the club that you're in, your consent forms, things like that. Now we have the biggest question about resetting your password. So the easiest way to do that is to have the member enter in their email, and then you can actually put forgot password. It'll bring you to a location where you can reset your password. They will then receive an email in their family, what they're listed as their family email in that email account, and then they're able to go in and reset the password. And then once they do that, they'll go back into the login page and log in with your email and new password. I personally have done this on my personal account 3 times this year, and we just started in August. So it's really easy to reset your password. So if you guys have any questions or need assistance or reporting issues, contact your county 4-H office. If you do have any system issues, I would also start with your county 4-H office, but you can also email our state office, but just make sure to include the member's name and county and then contact information as well. But if you do work through your county 4-H office, 90% of the time, again, we'll reach out and to the state office to get whatever issue you may be running into solved. So I'm going to hand it back over to Karen. I'm going to stop share. And if you guys have any questions about 4-H Online, feel free to put those in the chat. I know I flew through that pretty quick, but I know a lot of you have been already using our new 4-H Online version 2.0. So Karen, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you all very much for hanging with us tonight. A couple of other reminders. We are going to be doing this monthly, and so we wanted to give you all the schedule moving forward. Next month, we're going to be talking about belonging in a virtual environment. So how do we connect with our 4-H club members when we are seeing one another on the screen? And in November, we are going to be talking about service projects. A lot of times during the holidays, we think about ways that we can connect with our members in terms of service projects. So the information, please put those dates on your calendar. We're going to take a break in December, and we will pick up again at the beginning of 2021, meeting in January, February, March, April, and May on the 4th Monday at 6:30, and those training topics will be available soon. But we thank you all for being here tonight, and we hope that you will join us. So before you log off, we do have a quick poll that is going to be pulled up in just a moment. And if you all will take just a couple of minutes to answer those questions, and if there is anything else you can think of in terms of questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box or unmute yourself.
Are we going to stay virtual now that the state is open? I'm sorry, it's Irene Taylor.
It depends on individual counties. So each county is in a little bit of a different place in terms of where they are at. So counties are functioning differently.
Even though the governor has basically said he's overriding the counties and the mayor and those kind of things, we still are staying virtual?
In Seminole, it is up to the club leader. And so for those that are wanting to meet face-to-face, we have a process. Some club leaders have chosen to meet virtually, but it really depends on the individual county. So that's how we are functioning in Seminole.
Irene, I can answer you for Orange. The mayor is not lifting us. We're still in phase 2. Even like at the playgrounds and things.
Oh, that's not what the email said from Orange County. Orange County said Orange County is at phase 3. That's what the official email that came out from Orange County government on Friday. Is there Orange County?
No, that's for businesses. That's not Orange County government. That's businesses, because they have to allow the bars and the restaurants and the gyms and some of those, but that isn't changing, and we're still under Orange County government's policy on that. So if it changes, I will let you guys know as soon as I can. But as far as UF's concerned, really all that's going to happen with that is that's going to change the numbers that would be able to meet in person. Still masks, still social distancing, still having to seek permission, but you would be able to have more people because remember UF's phase 3, criteria would still stay the same. So, but right now, I mean, we just got an email from the mayor today, and he's not changing how right now county government is operating. As a matter of fact, the playgrounds, the Parks and Rec are still only 10 kids or 10 people are allowed at a time on the playgrounds. The county ones. So,
Okay.
yeah, sorry. It's very confusing. It's very confusing, and it's just, it threw a monkey wrench into everything because, quite honestly, the governor didn't give anybody notice, and local governments had to just respond. And so people are, understandably very confused about what in the world this means.
And just to clarify for everyone too, even so, Osceola County has moved into what the University of Florida calls phase 3. But that still requires approval through myself, my county director, my district director, and the associate dean. And so that's how it applies to all program areas and all 4-H programs, depending on what, where their county's at. So just note that even if we are moving into phase 3, where there could be more individuals meeting in person, there's still quite a process to go through and safety guidelines to follow. So we're slowly working through things, and we're here to support you. Just note that there will still be some restrictions moving forward.
Okay. Also, I noticed that in the training, I'm sorry, I was listening, but I noticed in the training we went over the login and the information for the families, but for us leaders, we didn't go over the seeing our clubs and that, which would have been more interesting also for me to see who actually is in my club. And
Irene, I completely agree and understand. So the reason that we didn't do that at this point right now is that there is still a glitch with the 4-H Online 2.0 system. So the information that has been entered for all of you based on your screening documents, your previous screening dates, things like that, that data did not transfer into version 2.0. So the state office has been working very closely with the developers to get us that information, to get it transferred. So some counties are handling things a little bit differently. I know in Osceola County right now, none of my leaders are approved in 4-H Online, strictly because I don't have their specific screening information in the system yet. And when I go to enter it, it seems to delete it and not save it. So I'm running into challenges in Osceola. Some counties are handling things a little bit differently. But we didn't want to present something to you guys tonight that not all of you have access to at this point. But as soon as those kinks get worked out, we'll be more than happy to cover how you guys can actually access to see your members, who's enrolled, things like that.
Okay, thank you.
However, this is Laura Cash from Volusia. I am having some issues with some of my volunteers, most of them who just haven't taken the quiz yet. But there are a few that I have that I've got to go clear up where is their paperwork, because I know I did it. Unfortunately, part of what I think you guys are asking about is in the last version, you could be club organizational leader and log in, and you could see all your club members, print out all the health forms and all that kind of stuff. That is not available through version 2.0 right now. But what you can do, and what I have done for some of my club leaders that have asked, is I can download an Excel spreadsheet that has all of who is enrolled presently current in the program and send you that spreadsheet. But that's all that we can do right now. And trust me, we have the guy at the state who does that, Ben Knowles, let's just say stress is a mild word for where he's at.
I'd also like to say too, if you don't have any questions, you're more than welcome to exit the meeting because you guys all answered your poll. Thank you so much. But if anybody else still has questions, we can try to answer those.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there's that. Woo.
Anybody else? If you're an Orange County person and you're trying to see your club list, Brett can walk you through that. I know he's been helping people get to that place. Thank you, everybody. I see you're very welcome. If you've got questions, like I said, I may make this PowerPoint a little more like, maybe just pull out the team stuff and just make that like a separate little steps and have that available for people.
Oh, Melinda, I was talking. I didn't get to complete the poll.
Oh, you didn't? It said everyone had done it. Oh no, okay.
That's why
Well,
I was like, okay, I guess it's too late.
well, did you start it?
I started, but I didn't get to finish it.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
Well, I don't know if I can, if I go back in, I think it might get rid of the first, I don't know what happens if I reopen it.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
You know what I can do? I can just I'll just send you the questions so you can answer because yeah, that'd be great. So anyway, yeah, I know it's very confusing, Irene, with the whole, what phase are we in? Let's play the game. You know, it reminds me of the Jeopardy game. Those in my county know that we had phase 2 or phase 3, and you have to,
I was going to send you the thing, and then when that happened, I said, oh, I don't need to send that anymore. We're open.
No,
So now I need to send it. Okay.
Yeah, at least our CED this morning said that nothing has changed, and the email, like I said, the email we got from the mayor today that went to employees, basically he specifically said, you know, bars, restaurants, gyms, what else? What were the other things that were being limited to? Well, theme parks just limited themselves, quite honestly. But all the things that the state had put limitations on their numbers, the governor removed those limitations. But county government can still decide, you know, what their government offices do, if that makes sense. And I do know that he specifically said, go out and enjoy the parks, and the playgrounds are now open, but only to 10 people. So that tells me if the playgrounds are only open to 10 people, sorry, I forgot my video was off. We're probably not getting more than 10 people in the meeting right now. But, so. Okay. I think he just wants to wait and see what's going to happen now that things are opening more, and I know he's being very cautious and, make sure that we don't get this big blow up. So.
Okay.
Anyway, so yes, still send me your form.